Hey, good morning, all. We are continuing in Love Yourself by Lawrence Crane, and a couple weeks left in this, and we're in chapter 14, Exercises to Practice Loving Yourself. And really, what it is, you could say it like this as well: exercises to experience the unconditional love of God, which you are, and you have unlimited supplies of. And experiencing God, like I said, is God is, in my opinion, meant to be experienced. It's meant to um, experience spirituality versus study spirituality. You can spend your whole life studying God um, and get no results, which I'm really not into. I think everybody, if they really had a choice, is could I eliminate my suffering and really be happy, since that's the ultimate goal that everybody's after, is happiness with no sorrow, and really experiencing this unconditional love that no matter how bleak any situation looks, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your abundance, whether it's your mental health and physical health, if unconditional love is the ultimate power, which it is, then anything that it touches must be transformed into perfection and beauty of itself, which is exactly actually what's interesting about the book of Revelation. It talks about that. It's the lake of fire is not something negative. It literally says, you shall, the promise of God that everyone shall experience is the intimacy and the passion God has for you. And his passion and his love purifies you into perfection. And where it says, you shall be tormented forever and ever, it literally is this idea of you shall be purified as the perfection of God forever and ever, which you always have been. You were born that way. You're uh, you shall experience that in this lifetime, and you shall go back to that purification which you are. This is for the experience here, which is very interesting. But anyway, let's get into this. Exercises to practice loving yourself, or you could say exercises to experience the love of God and the the infinite beingness, the effortlessness, the neutrality, and the unconditional love that you are, that you've always been, experiencing your true self. And so, anyway, it's really energy at the end of the day. And I'm just going to read this again because it's great how it talks about really this whole idea is releasing negative energy. How do you do that? By welcoming it or saying yes to it, which is practicing unconditional love. Unconditional love is the acceptance of all things as they are. I love you and accept you exactly how you are, which, as we talk about some of the things in here, is tricky for most people because they've been taught to do the exact opposite. And that's why most people actually are not that happy and experience suffering that they don't need to suffer. And that's really the whole goal of Freedom Ministries, is really to help people in their lives with those three big areas, in my opinion, is let's teach people to live in the perfection and the beauty that they are. And so anyway, let me just read this to you because it talks about when you wake up during the day and at the end of the day, if you let go of negative energy, how do you do that? By saying yes or loving it or welcoming it. Rhonda Burns would say welcome it. It's all the same thing. And then just letting the unconditional love, the unconditional abundance, the unconditional health, the unlimited supply of infiniteness that is the strength and power of God, which takes no effort, naturally flow out of you. I just say that kind of stuff and I just sigh because like your heart knows that's true. Like, yes, this is who we are, right back to the perfection that we've always been. And so, anyway, when we say no to things or we're trying to get rid of things, your mind is only creative. And so if we say, I don't like this, I wish this was different, is we're holding in mind something we don't want. And the only way to change that is to let the emotion behind those thoughts go by saying yes to them. I love you. I welcome you. I say yes to you. And I say yes to you some more. Those uncomfortable feelings, today we're going to talk a little bit about two of the big three in here, which is abundance and relationships. But it's all the same thing. Abundance, health, loving relationships are really all the same energy, which is unconditional love, which is the infinite power of God. And so when we say no to things, we actually hold it to us because we're saying your mind, as we've talked about over and over and over, doesn't recognize no or not. When you say, thou shalt not, think of a blue t shirt that says veil in white letters on it. Thou shalt not do it. It's a command of God. You naturally do it. Your brain thinks in pictures, and you are wildly creative. When you imagine something, you're literally taking the infinite energy and spirit of God and shaping it into the physical world. That's how cool and powerful we actually are. It's pretty neat, huh? And so, anyway, during your day, if you get swept away by the negativity, it may seem difficult to be positive, but as soon as you notice the negative, recognize you've been saying no to something. I don't like this. I wish this was different. I don't want this to happen. I wish this hadn't happened in the past. That's all negative energy. And if energy equals the material world, we must change the energy if we want different results. And you can hear Larry Crane if you ever listen to him. Does worrying ever get you out of your problem? Does being frustrated about your finances and relationships ever create better finances and relationships? Does complaining about somebody else, I don't like them, I don't like how they treat me. We've talked about this quite a bit, in relationships, is especially marital relationships. Other people think the other person's a narcissist all the time. And Barb and I have dealt with tens of thousands of marriages and relationships, and it's always the same. It's always the same. So if you want the situation to change, does it help by spreading negative energy concerning that other person, or could we just say yes to our feeling that we think that other person's wronged us and just say yes to that and love that feeling? I say yes to that feeling of frustration, of anger, of hurt, of grief, whatever it is that that person's caused you. I just say yes to it and love that. I love that feeling. I welcome that feeling. I say yes to it, and I say yes to it some more, and I say yes to it some more. You're applying the infinite power of love, and anything love touches, it transforms itself into the same. So if you really want a relationship to change, you say yes to the emotion, the love. You start loving that feeling that you've said, this is horrible, this person's bad. Um, you start to love that feeling, and it literally takes with it thousands and thousands of thoughts that have been accumulated over the years, probably your whole life. And you just start to feel natural, lighter, better than you've ever felt before because that's who you've always been. You're letting go of the negative and replacing it with positive. That's this whole chapter. And so it just says, um, whenever you feel bad about anything or frustrated, you realize you've been saying no to it. Saying no does not get you positive, does it? That's where energy equals material world. You can't add more negative energy saying, I don't like this, I'm frustrated with this, and expect a positive material experience. You must change it into positive energy. I love this. I say yes to this. And then the material world changes. Instead, decide to be positive, saying yes to whatever you feel. Or as Rhonda Birds will say, I just welcome this. I love this. It's okay for that feeling to be there. Same thing, same energy. Soon the negative feeling leaves and you let go of any disapproval you may have and you start giving yourself approval. Say yes to it, let go of the negative energy and stories about your life, about your finances, about your relationships is what we're talking about here. But there's anger, worry, pick whatever topic you want. It's all the same. Everything works the same. So as soon as the negative feeling leaves, you can let go of any disapproval. You may give yourself approval. I say yes to this. I love myself. I am the perfection of God. I say yes to limitless abundance that effortlessly flows to me. I say yes to amazing, loving relationships that I feel so fulfilled in. I say yes to complete health. I'm so happy about the divine life that's flowing through me and how good my mind and body feel. You start to say yes to that. That's a change of energy. You can feel it. So then you can go out and on with your day feeling happier and lighter. Use this power of yes. There's no reason to have stress or frustration in your life. It's just a decision. Now, ask yourself this. If you truly have the Spirit of God in you, isn't that the Spirit of God? Sounds so simple. But most of my Western Christian life, they would say, yes, you've asked the Spirit to enter into your heart, then act like it's not there the rest of their lives. And so to me, very practical. If I have or am, if I've become one, which I believe all those things. I'm just saying for most of the people that are listening, especially in Western Christianity, um, we say those things, but do we actually believe them? I want you to experience them. So if I am or have the unlimited power of God, the unlimited power of creation, um, can I just say yes to things? Can I just love things? Do I have the power to let go of negative energy and just produce and generate positive energy? Yeah, we do, because that's the infinite spirit of God. And when we say or imagine things, if I have or possess the infinite power of God, when I say and imagine things, I'm literally creating it in the physical realm. That's the how powerful you are. That's how big you are. Anyway, that's the decision. Could I just make a decision? If I had or am the unlimited power of all creation, if I am or have the unlimited power of the universe, if you, in Western Christianity, if we believe that's the Holy Spirit, if that's how you're brought up, isn't that the unlimited power of the universe? Then you possess it. You are it. So if you have and are the unlimited power of the universe, can you make a decision that you're going to be happy, abundant, and healthy? Can you just make that decision? Because if you have the unlimited power and you have the decision, then you're the decision maker. I'm really trying to be simple and go, duh. Yes. And I'm talking to myself too, because I do these mental exercises with myself, like, yeah, that's right. Wait a minute. If I am one with and possess the unlimited power of the spirit, then I can make the decision. I'm going to generate happiness. I'm going to generate abundance. I'm going to generate health. And I'm going to generate peace. It says by deciding to be positive, you move in the direction of happiness, abundance, health, and peace. Try it. You'll like it. And what we've been sharing is the infinite power of God doesn't take a long time to be God. You can feel uh, a huge change in your energy in 30 to 60 seconds, guys, by just going through the exercises and being the unconditional love you are. How do you do that? Again, just say yes to everything you've been saying no to. Typically, the energy or the feeling that you don't like about your abundance or relationships is what we're talking today. If you do that, if you practice unconditional love, could I just say yes to these things that I've said no to and I don't like and I'm pushing them away? Could I make the decision as the infinite power of all of creation that I'm going to be abundant, healthy? Yeah, I could. And then you just see what rises up and say yes to any emotion that says, no, this isn't true, or that's not true about me, or I can't have those things. I can't have unlimited abundance. I can't have um, great loving relationships because look at my results. This happened to me in this marriage and that experience. And yeah, 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 as Joe Dispenza would say, I know, I know, I know. You've got the story of all stories. You've shown me the problem. Are you interested in the solution? And I know it can be scary, but just say, yes, I'm interested in being free. Would I be interested in being free and be free from the suffering that I've experienced probably your whole life for some of you? Could you just say, yes, I'd like to be free? I just say yes to my freedom. How do you do it? By saying yes to your current situation and loving your current situation, no matter how bad it seems. So, anyway, that's what it says. When you do this, when you practice and just go through these exercises, the power of yes, you'll naturally start living in all those things we're talking about. So you can talk about relationships just for time, guys. I think I'm just going to go through the money and finances, but relationships is right after that. And, anger, pain, stress, confusion. It's all the same thing. Guilt and shame are in there, which are big for most Western Christianity. So listen to this. This is really interesting. As Larry Crane says, you're going to have to do something different than you've always done, and you're probably going to have to do something different when what the experts have always talked about. But if it worked, would you be willing to try it? And here's the cool part: if it doesn't work, nothing changed, and you're right back to where you started from. If it does work, everything changes for your benefit. So, money and finances. Let's begin with finances, money, and credit card debt. Do you have money issue that you haven't been able to resolve? Ask your mind if you know how to get out of this money problem. It doesn't know, does it? It can think, it can start to analyze, it can start to worry. But if you ever listen to Larry Crane talk, he says this: your mind doesn't know. Ask yourself if you know your phone number. It typically does. Well, sometimes you forget it because we have auto dial in there. But you know your name. If you ask your mom, what's my name? You know most of you guys would know your birthday. Most of you guys would, um, hey, what country do you live in? Most of you guys would provide that answer. But if you say, how do I solve this money problem and get out of debt? It doesn't know. That's what he's saying. And so what happens is when your analytical mind is spinning like that, and it can't figure it out, you get frustrated and you start to beat yourself up, is what he said. You start feeling bad about yourself because you've been taught if I don't know the answer, then there's something wrong with me. Our school systems do that. Um, Most of our Christian upbringing is that it's right, wrong, good, bad. If you don't know or if you did the wrong thing, you're bad. And the true presence of God is unconditional love and knows nothing about that. Thinks you're amazing all the time, everywhere, and has the answer of everything right within you. And so he says, all right, if you beating yourself up about your finances hasn't changed it, and adding negative energy to it can't create anything positive, now you have a decision to make. Could you say yes and start loving your current situation, even your credit card debt, as he talks about? That's hard for people to do because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm saying yes to something I don't want. Right. Because you're practicing unconditional love. I say yes to this. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with this. I say yes to this because when you change the energy, the situation changes. Coming against something just adds negative energy. If you say, this is bad, I must do this, there's something in you that knows you don't need to do anything. You are. You're the existence of God. So here's what's really cool. Um, and I'm just going to skip over to this. Uh, let's say your money problem is credit card debt. It could be several other things, such as your job or income, whatever it is, you see that as negative. Oh my gosh, that's bad. You don't like it. You're disapproving of it. Do you see what you're doing? You've you have a negative situation, and by disapproving of it and saying credit card debt is bad, you're pouring more negative energy on the situation and you're just disapproving of it. How is adding negative energy ever going to do anything but make the negative situation more negative? That's what we've been talking about. And Rhonda Burns, chapter 7, she does a great chapter on that. Um, yeah, but isn't God judgmental? Shouldn't we bring awareness to something? Guys, your mind is only creative. It doesn't recognize no's or nots. Anything you imagine or put your attention on or awareness on creates more of it. You're divinely creative. So if we bring awareness to, think about this, guys. Cancer Awareness Week or month, or I don't know what we have now. Has it stopped any of it or has it increased it since you were a little kid? It's increased it. Anything you place your attention on increases more of it. The only way you can do it is take your attention off it, practice unconditional love, and then allow yourself to put your attention on divine health. It generates divine health. The energy of paying attention to divine health generates divine health. The energy of me placing my attention on diagnosis, sickness, oh my gosh, this food causes this, creates more of that because your mind can only create that. So now let's say your money problem is credit card debt. I can show you how to get rid of the negativity and get started turning your finances around, but you're going to have to be willing to do something different than you've ever done. Are you willing to do that? Just say yes. He's getting you into unconditional love. Just say yes. You've been asking your mind if it knows how to get out of the debt, but it doesn't know, does it? So asking something that doesn't know is like looking into an empty file cabinet for the answer, and you just keep looking. Now, how silly is that? Now, the fact that you have debt, most of you guys start beating yourself up about it. How is disapproving of your credit card debt, basically not saying yes to it or practicing unconditional love, helping you get out of debt? It hasn't helped your whole life, has it? Who's doing it? You are. All right. If you're doing it and you don't, and it doesn't resolve the situation, now you have a decision to make. Could I be the unconditional love I am? Now, here's where it's really interesting. And you can do this, and I want you to experience it. You decide to be positive and love your credit card debt. I can hear the experts screaming now. Some of you guys might be very disciplined, but 99% of the people aren't. So by going, hey, you need to do this, just puts them deeper in and they really can't get out. And so you're really not helping that many people. Could you decide to be positive and love your credit card debt? Just say yes to the feeling you have about it. Some people are new to this idea of being loving instead of being hating, instead of hating having trouble with giving approval to something they see as negative, like credit card debt. But ask yourself a question. Has what I've been doing my whole life worked? Has saying it's negative and I must get out of it, has pouring negative energy out solved your credit card debt? No. Positive energy, love, approval is transforming. It's transformative. It transforms anything negative into positive. See, unconditional love is the most positive uh, force in the world, the unconditional love and harmony of God, which is you and has unlimited supply within you that you can generate, you can decide to be it, is transformed and it transforms anything into something positive. That's why it's a smart idea to let go of the negative. How do you let go of the negative? Could I just say yes to how I feel about my credit card debt right now? Could I say yes about how I feel about my job situation? Could I say yes to what my business situation looks like? That's applying unconditional love. So could you just say yes to how you feel about any of those things right now? And could you just say yes to how you feel about them right now? And just say yes to more. And just say yes some more. And just see how you feel about your finances. If you have credit card debt, is what he's talking about here, your business situation. Could you say yes to it? I just say yes to that uncomfortable feeling. You know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm going to practice the unconditional love of God, which has transformative power. The unconditional love affects every atom in the universe, and I just say yes to it. When I'm saying yes to it right now, every atom in the universe is responding to me. That's the infinite power of love that I can generate at any time, at any moment, and take even the most difficult situations into positive. I just say yes to it. I just say yes to it some more. I just allow all of it to be free and flow out of me. Now, could I say yes to unlimited abundance? I just say yes to it. I just say yes to the unlimited abundance. I generate the idea of abundance, the feeling of abundance. How good would I feel if I was infinitely abundant and every one of my situations was taken care of by the love of God? Just allow that feeling to expand. I just say yes to that. I just feel so grateful that the love of God has transformed my situation and I'm flowing in the infinite presence of God. How good would I feel knowing that everything has been taken care of, that every atom in the universe is moving to fulfill me and it's effortlessly flowing in this infinite presence of God, this infinite abundance of God. How good does that feel? I just say yes to that. And could you just say yes to your effortless abundance some more? You just say yes to your abundance some more. And could you just say yes to your abundance some more? Now, he talks about that. You can actually go um, and do, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel about your credit card debt, your finances, your business? And when you just say yes to how you feel about it, let's say you were an 8, I disapprove of where I'm at. Just practicing that unconditional love of saying yes to it, I just say yes to that feeling. I'm not going to say this is negative anymore. I say yes to that debt. I say yes to this business situation. I say yes to my finances. I say yes to how I feel about them. Hey, you're welcome here, that uncomfortable feeling. I just say yes to it some more. And I just love you. I love you some more. And you'll feel it go from, let's say you were an 8 to a 4 or 5 very quickly. And you can just practice it anytime during the day when you start to feel anxious about anything. This is talking about, again, finances and relationships, but it's all the same thing. You can say yes or welcome or love any negative story, any negative feeling about your life. And the infinite power of love is transformative and it transforms it into something negative, and you feel better immediately. Feeling is energy. The better you feel, the better energy that's you're generating out of you. And your material world, your physical world must change. If your energy changes, it must change. And so he says, now check. Does it feel more possible or less possible to resolve any money situation than it did just 60 seconds ago by applying unconditional love? You just feel better about yourself. As we've been sharing over and over, what's really cool is when you say yes to things, it's just like meditation. You're slowing down the analytical mind, which can only say this is good, this is bad. There's not enough, there's too little. You slow that part of your brain down and get right into the operating system where you can tell yourself anything you want. And love is the most transformative. So you say, I am this. I allow myself to experience unlimited abundance. It feels so good to generate this much cash flow every month with no effort. It feels so good to be completely free and effortless in my finances. I say yes to it. That's a change of energy that's rapid. And it says that lets you know you're headed in the right direction. The law of the universe is positive energy creates positive things. He says positive attracts positive. I don't necessarily like the language because of all the law of attraction talking that we've been talking about. But if you say the law of the universe is positive energy creates positive things, negative energy creates negative things, that's actually great. So you can keep going and you'll see results. That's what's so great. You will experience results. It's not maybe. So if you know what you're doing is not working and it makes you feel bad, you have a decision to make. That's what he said. If I practice unconditional love and start saying yes and welcoming the negative feelings that I've suppressed about my finances and relationships and apply unconditional love by saying yes and welcoming, you are changing your energy. Those situations must change for the better. So he says, you will see results. We don't have to wonder if you have enough faith or if I'm doing this right. You will see results. That's really reassuring. If I actually do this, I will see results. then I'm smart enough to go, well, then I should probably do it. So you keep letting go of asking your mind, keep letting go of disapproval. You could just say, I'm welcoming the fact that I don't know. I say yes to that uncomfortable feeling where I don't know the answer because the infinite part of you knows the answer to everything. I say yes to that uncomfortable feeling that I've been saying about myself, disapprovals, and then I send approval. I say yes to this abundance. I say yes to this relationship. I say yes to this divine health. It feels so good to be completely rejuvenated, full of life, where everything effortlessly flows out of me because it is the creative, unlimited potential of God that's flowing out of me. I just say yes to that. That's how cool it is, guys. And so hopefully that helps. It's the power of yes, chapter 14. You can go through those. Really, it is if you let go of the negative energy. I've been saying no to things. I don't like this. I don't like this country. I don't like this person. I don't like this situation. I don't like this. Adding negative energy doesn't help. It only produces more negative energy. So if you say yes to the things you've been saying no to, sounds odd, you're starting to apply infinite love, and the situation starts to seemingly effortlessly change because you're applying the power that's the most high, which is unconditional love. So hopefully it helps you guys. God bless. We'll see you during the online fellowships.